And boom, here we are. We just posted. We got back in show number 22. Here we are. Fellas, how we doing? Ty, how we doing?
Good. On business casual today. I didn't bring clothes to change, so
Yep.
I'm rocking. I even left my my lanyard on.
Yep, you're just corporate flexing on the entire world.
I'm wearing the same shirt in this picture as I am right now, too.
Oh, my
Fun
God.
fact.
And those are nice socks. I like those socks a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate they're great.
Yeah.
I haven't been wearing socks. Has that been weird on the... You think the YouTube listeners are like, damn, Andrew's feet are weird?
No, I think they're just thinking you're going through some changes,
Mm.
like personally.
Well, I just wear Crocs all day long, and I do wear Crocs with socks all the time, but I love going without socks as much as possible.
You know what's funny, too, is Ty was like, where does Andrew work? Like, obviously knowing you do social media, I was like, oh, he works in a guy's basement, you know. So that goes perfectly along with the fact he wears Crocs all day.
I think those go hand in hand.
Those go
right?
hand in hand.
You work in a basement, you wear Crocs.
Are you allowed to wear shorts to work?
Yeah, this is what I wore to work
I
today.
was gonna say,
That's sick.
was that your work outfit today?
Yep.
That's nice.
Well, look at us. We're all wearing what we wore to work today. So, Ty, you're looking like you worked in an office all day.
It's true.
Andrew, you look like you worked in a basement. And me, I don't know what I look like. I mean, I always look kind of dumb. So
You look like you scrounged together some clothes and called it an outfit.
yeah,
You're
I wear so
Yeah, handing out your Jehovah's Witness flyers on the corner.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sponsoring Andrew Zimmerman. Nope, Joe Zimmerman's free Kelpie shirt. Joe Zimmerman is he's a comedian. He's in town right now.
Okay.
And I got a shirt. This is from one of his jokes. He talks about going to Edmonton and being with the sea lions, and Kelpie is one of the sea lions that's like on display or like a Shamu type thing, but it's
Sure.
in like the Mall of Canada in Edmonton, and it's wild, man.
Which is now the biggest mall in the world. It passed a Mall of America. Is that what that was?
It was his part of. I thought it was the second biggest mall.
Okay, this one in Minnesota's so bigger.
I'm starting to realize this is a very hard joke to explain,
Yeah,
but it's very much like you had to be there.
I understand.
Yeah.
Sure.
People were like, whoa, what is that? Free Kelpie? I was like, I don't even know where to start, man, to be honest. It's a really, really, really soft shirt, and
Kelpie looks very sad for all the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he looks
Looks like he wants to be freed.
He looks like he's ready to be freed.
Yeah.
Not only wanting to, but he's ready.
yeah, Kelpie wouldn't last long in the actual ocean, though.
No,
so,
he'd be trying to do performances for the sharks and
yeah,
get eaten.
they'd
That
be
was
messing
his
him
bit.
up. That was part of the bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. But, hey, Joe, coming on the podcast soon, potentially. I talked to him after the show. He said,
A New Yorker.
yeah, he said he'd love to. So, wow, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah. I think that's he's in.
He's in. That sounds like a good verbal handshake.
Put him in the calendar.
Yeah. When are you free in November of next year when he comes back?
I got Thanksgiving going on around that time.
yeah.
We'll send you the calendar invite and you just accept or decline.
Yeah, I love that system. I love the new system of you guys just sending me invites and then I'll just accept and decline. I'm not to the point. I still feel like obligated to text you. I'm like, oh, yeah, I can't do it.
Okay.
We're going to get to the point, I think, where I'm just going to decline it. And you're just going to be like, oh, you can't go.
Okay.
Does that come back like as a notification to you?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's super helpful, but also at the same time, like, I really need to book these guests knowing that you'll be there, because it sucks so much nowadays where we've been doing, what are we, like 20-something weeks into this thing? And pretty much for them, would you argue for the majority of those weeks, we've at least had to have one of our friends produce one of the podcasts?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's getting to the point now where I don't think our friends feel bad. Like, Jack Burke loves doing, like, we talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Quote, loves doing it, right? But
Love's a strong word.
you know, I don't want to book a guest and then have to ask my friend or Jack or anybody to like produce it, because it's like, oh, I feel bad, you know?
Yeah, well, you did it with your dad and without a producer, and I thought it looked fine.
Mm-hmm. That's with the GoPro facing us. So if we invest in another camera, just like how you bring this one, I think we'll be able to produce it on our own.
Yeah.
For the most part. It's always easier when we got another person in here.
I think it's always better, too. You can get a little bit more dynamic. But
Yeah.
Especially if we start going OBS and you sitting
huge.
behind. Like, if we start going OBS, I think that's when
Yeah.
we're going to hit. That's going to help us a little bit.
That's going to be so big. I'm so excited when we do that.
That's going to save Andrew and I a lot of heartache on the back end.
I'm going to feel like a real producer when I do that, too.
Yeah,
like,
I
I
know.
won't just be like a monkey. Like, I feel like a monkey can swivel the camera, but pushing buttons. Like,
Going 1-2
hey,
like
camera
that?
camera two. We're in.
We're in.
That's going to be
Oh,
awesome.
it's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So, well, here we are. Looking like we all clearly got off of work and are talking about our day now. So that's fun.
Yeah, I'm bummed that we couldn't pull off the me walking into the studio as you're recording. I was actually super excited in the car. Like, I was driving a little bit slower because I was just like, all right, these guys are going to be like rolling and I'm going to walk in like 10 minutes in and they're just going to be talking shit about me and I'm just going to have to take it and it's going to be this whole bit, and I got excited. So feel free to talk shit right now, and we can just roll with it, or we can wait for the next time when one of us is late. And
Yeah, sure. I'll get started right away. You just flexed on all of us by showing the power and the value you provide to this corporation, this podcast, because you have your computer in GarageBand, which is like 80,000 times more simple than Audacity, right?
Yeah.
That we can all agree on that.
It is.
So it took me, you were 20 minutes away from the house, and it took me 20 minutes to figure out that Audacity is hard to use. So
you're not talking shit. You're actually saying I'm of mega value.
also, yeah, and then
Just because of the device I carry.
I would say it's more like vindictive, like we're like, we want to do it without Andy, but
We
son of
did.
a bitch, he's not here.
I know,
So-
you should have seen Ty, like right when you responded, like, yeah, you guys do it without me, I'll walk in late. Ty and I like fist bumped right away. We were like, oh, this is going to be the best back end show yet.
So
Sad.
next time, because there might be,
Next
There
time
might
you're
be a
late.
next time.
or Deck's late, and then we could talk shit about Deck.
Yeah, to give the listeners some context, you were pretty. I was the calendar invite said 5 o'clock, so I was here at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
5:30, whatever. But then you were like 20 minutes late past 5:30.
Yeah, I was definitely late to the 5:30. That was what I thought it was, because I told Deck a few times. I should have put this in my calendar, but I have a life coach at 4 on Thursday. I told him at least 3 or 4 times that this was happening.
Yeah, no, this is like, I would say 85% my fault.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, yeah, this one's mine.
But then
This one's
again,
on
I
me.
was 20 minutes late for the 5:30.
Yeah.
Because we went long, and then the traffic has kicked my ass this week.
Yeah.
I have underpredicted everywhere I went with timing of how to get there, from getting to work relatively on time. Like, I'm usually within 5 minutes of that. That's been no big deal. But getting home took me an hour the other day because of the hailstorm in the middle of what's this month? July?
Yeah.
Yeah.
July.
We're in
Yeah.
July, and it hailed.
Peak hail season, obviously.
Peak hail season, knocked out all the lights, so that was mayhem. And then that same day, I had to drive down to Apple Valley from here to play softball, and I rolled in like 5 minutes after game time, but they waited for me. Threw on the cleats, got the first ball hit to me, which was hilarious. Made the play.
Yeah.
And then today, I'm just been late. I was late to the life coach at 4 by 10 minutes, and then I was late here for 20 minutes. I'd like to think that I'm an on-time, early guy,
Sure.
because I
You are.
like Tom Coughlin time,
Yeah,
and
I do too.
I've been screwing up, and I've called Deck a few times in the car to let out my anger. I'm a very angry driver. I grip the steering wheel very tightly when I'm driving. So
Yo, it's
talking
bad.
through Deck has been easier, but he still gets the wrath a few times.
Yeah, no, I get a lot of wrath. I take on a lot of Andrew's angst
Yeah.
over the phone. It's weird. We'll just be like talking about podcast stuff, obviously, and all of a sudden you just, what the fuck? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, come on. What's going on here? And so, some guy's being an idiot.
Yeah.
And, you just got to you roll with the punches,
We should get you a mobile setup, like in the car, like be a little Saturday special show, which is Andy's road rage. And just when you're upset and you have to vent it out, you just grab the microphone and you just go in and release it as a little 15 minutes, drop on a Saturday.
I am the most efficient driver out there.
Efficient?
Efficient.
Oh, okay. Not today.
No. When I'm on the road,
When you're on, you're on.
I'm on.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about traffic.
I can't do anything about traffic.
And then you get in those days too where it sounds like you had one today where it was you were late to one thing and you're like late to another thing. It's just like snowballs and you just feel like crap. You're like, oh my God.
At least you have a 2018 Subaru that like keeps you nice and cool, and you have your nice Apple CarPlay, your nice leather seats,
Yeah.
Nothing's
I mean,
slick.
you got it made, brother.
Yeah, sitting in that car, I always remind myself, like, hey, dude, you're chilling. So
Yeah, like you're looking at a guy who, like, my AC works, but it's just not good AC. Like stinks. I don't know what happened. So I got all my windows down.
Something
I have black interior, so you get into the car at this point, and it's very hot. In addition to that, my check engine light's on, and I'm usually almost out of gas. So I'm kind of glad that I haven't been going through what you're going through. Oh, and I don't even, like, my aux cord in my car doesn't work either.
That's the
So I
worst.
just wear my Beats and just listen to audiobooks.
highly illegal.
That's so funny. Is that illegal?
You cannot wear headphones in the car. No.
You were like over the ear beats?
No, just the ones that sit around your ear and slide in.
The buds.
That's not as bad.
No, not
No.
as bad.
I mean, they're definitely noise canceling if I wanted them to be, but I'm listening to like podcasts and audiobooks, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there we are.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Well.
love the podcast in Andrew's car. We had the opportunity almost. We could have. I mean, I guess we didn't really have the opportunity. I feel like if we prepared for it, We can make something happen.
We could definitely do a car podcast. That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
We just have
We
to
could
deal
use
with
your
the-
mic, the USB mic, and pass
Yep.
that one around, or we
Mhm.
have a snowball that can capture the full room.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
we can just use our phones.
or if we just got one more like USB port, we could just, because that's how I record my podcast is 2 USB plugs, but my Mac only has 2 USB ports. So
Same.
if we figured out a way to expand to one more USB port, we could be as mobile as we wanted to.
We could ride.
That'd be killer.
Well, actually, we could use that. You know how you can like plug in the like that car has like a plug-in spot for your phone or whatever. You know?
The USB plug-in.
No.
I have like 4 USBs
Oh.
in my car.
I'm talking. How do I?
But I don't
Explain
think
this?
that's
It's
gonna
like the
work.
really thick.
It's like
Yeah.
brag, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like the really thick ass.
It's a car charger port.
Yeah, but it's not USB.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
it's like the circle.
yeah, you can. Yeah, the circle. There we
Mhm.
go. That can convert to like a actual outlet.
Then we could.
Then
bring
we
this
can
up.
really bring it in.
That'd be killer. Then we get the GoPro in the front, like a wide angle.
Yeah.
And we just, I sit in the middle and the back.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be killer.
that would be killer.
That checks out.
That would be maximum efficiency. We have to drive, do an interview, and we do the back end show
On the way to the interview.
Mm.
and we cut it in the middle, pick it up on the way back.
Oh
Little
man,
recap.
Little
Little
recap.
Yeah,
Pretty much like we did with Schussler.
Yeah.
That was fun. A
Yeah.
little build up to Schussler before.
that's quite the evening.
Yeah, that was quite.
That's
the
a
evening.
late evening too.
Yeah.
Gosh, I was late.
I've never podcasted that late.
I had this thought today. Let me hear your guys' idea or your thoughts on it. When we have the need or the want to relocate the studio off site somewhere, I was thinking about this today. I was in the car. I was like, we should go to Bloomington, right next to the airport. And when we have guests that are coming from out of town, because at that point when we have our own studio, I hope that we're big enough where when someone's coming in from out of town, they're like have an event here, they want to promote it, blah blah blah, and we pick them up at the airport and drive them to the studio, and it's only like 5 minutes away, and show them like the great start to the city. Thoughts?
Okay, I like it.
Okay.
So you just like get a studio in Bloomington. That was your idea.
Yeah. The
That's
certain
it.
location would be sweet
Yeah.
Why? Why does it have to be in Bloomington?
because it's right next to the airport.
Okay.
But
can
isn't
we-
Minneapolis
Can we
too?
just pick
Oh,
them
it's
up at
hell.
the airport?
It's a hell to get around the city, just like I just mentioned, guys. Did you not just pick up on my stress?
Yeah, but hopefully they fly in at a more convenient time.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Oh,
only
we're gonna schedule their airtime
There's
so
only-
it's easy traffic.
there's
Is
only
that what you're
two-
saying?
I feel like there's just more times that are convenient for them to fly in than there are times for when it's inconvenient. Like there's really only like 2 blocks of the day where it would be bad for them to fly in.
Yeah.
Any other time, like we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the crux of this whole thing is after this year, or within a half year, I'm going to be rethinking if I want to live in this house next year.
Right.
I cannot stand living in Uptown now. I'm starting to get like you think when the summer rolls around, it's going to be easier to navigate through this part because the winter is mayhem. It's horrible, and it's not easier. So I'm
yeah.
like St. Paul is just cleaner. It's built on a better grid. I don't know, So I was thinking if I'm in St. Paul, Bloomington would be dope to just drive a little south to the studio.
Mm.
You're St. Paul over Minneapolis, okay?
As of right now, yes.
Sad.
Even though you've never even lived in outside of St. Thomas, which doesn't really count as St. Paul, but
That doesn't count as St. Paul.
It's like the middle.
that's West St. Yeah, it's
It's just,
kind of
like,
the
in the
middle.
middle.
Yeah.
I think
that's
it's
tough.
funny all those schools that like line the highway to in between St. Paul and Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I think it's just hilarious. There's
Just
like 4
middle.
schools. Yeah, it's just what do you call it? It's like the middle of the
Yeah.
Twin Cities.
So my thought is, if we do get a cool ass studio, I would want it in like downtown Minneapolis or like in the North Loop or something.
I'm
kinda
so
more-
out on downtown Minneapolis right now.
Dude, if you got like an apartment around, you could just
That's what I'm
lime
saying. Then we
scooter.
can just walk to work.
Yeah, here's
we
your
would
big-
never
here's
have
your big
to.
lime guy. It's lime everywhere.
There's more limes than St. Paul.
Sure.
Is that true?
Yes.
How do you know that?
You have the app. It tells you where all the limes are. They're always in Lower St. Paul.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
That's
I don't know.
That's a dumb point.
My
You-
idea of just like totally eliminating having to drive
Yeah,
would be kind of nice, right?
that's the dream.
Yeah, but let's do it in St. Paul. Downtown St. Paul.
Oh, there's like 4 blocks of like cool downtown St. Paul.
Yeah.
Like that's all you need. You know, what do you need in Minneapolis that doesn't?
Dude, I wanna feel like I'm in this. When I'm in St. Paul, I don't feel like I'm like Minneapolis is just better. I think we can agree that Minneapolis is like a better city, like downtown scene.
Sure, but it's horrible getting around. I get that you can walk in places, but you're not walking everywhere in life.
I'm just saying, like, we could set it up so we could easily walk where we need to go.
Yeah.
You live in North Loop, like right by the Hewing Hotel and all that stuff. We have a studio right across the street from like there's a studio somewhere in that space.
I get what you're saying, Deck.
Again,
I'm so out on that it's horrible getting around.
Stone Arch Bridge is down
More
there.
times than not.
River.
I just think it's been a bad week for you, man.
Yeah.
Let's give it some time.
You came in hot.
Let's give it some time.
Mm.
Look, I'm not out on St. Paul. I think St. Paul is a beautiful city. I think there's a lot of cool stuff going on there, but I also think it's a little bit simmered down. I to your point, maybe you just live in St. Paul.
Nope.
And then
that's
come
not
over
what
too.
we're looking for.
That's like the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, actually, that is what. Never mind. I don't know.
Well,
I really don't even.
What'd you say?
2 studios.
Tuesday.
I think we need multiple studios.
Yeah,
Maybe,
obviously.
dude. Maybe we just get a van and start doing like the whole Vanny Woodhead. Pardon my take. Just record out of a van.
Well, Deck and I were, in the time that we were waiting for you, Andrew, we, Deck ran me through the whole, we were in the war room, so we were running through the whiteboard, and it came up like a little, maybe a little road trip. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah,
Be killer.
we would have to accomplish all those goals first, though, in order
Yeah.
to even consider a road trip / tour,
agree.
backpocket tour, to even make that happen.
Maybe we try it out, see if we're compatible. We just do it in the soup, and we, on the way to an interview,
Right.
we just, that's a little trial run.
Yeah, maybe
you know.
that's like your first interview to
Yeah.
be hired on.
Yeah.
So that's the real question, Ty. Would you, if we're like, hey man, we got sponsors, we got bags of
Sheesh.
money, like, hey, you gonna take a break from school, come hang out with the podcast boys? Like, is that what do you think, dude? I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big question, but
Dude, is it happening tomorrow? Because I feel
All
like
right, it happens tomorrow. We have the ability to pay you a full-time salary.
or actually, when we say salary, like you can survive with us
Yeah, exactly.
because that's what we'll be doing
Yeah.
is surviving.
yeah. Shoot. I'm so close to being done with school. Like, I want to, finish being done with school.
You're
I
almost done with
You're
school.
a 3-year?
I have
That's what you're trying to
3
do?
semesters left.
Okay.
Oh.
So
So, I'm going to my junior year, and I'm going to take a semester my senior year. So I have 3 semesters left.
Hmm.
So, I'm so close. Like, I
Mm.
can taste it. I just want to finish it out because I feel like now's the time in my life where I'm just going to finish school. If you were to
So what you're saying is no.
if you were to propose
Damn.
this to me one semester into college, and you're like, hey, tomorrow you can not do the rest of the semester, I'd probably be like, damn, that's pretty cool. But it's so close.
I'm saying take a semester off, come back, and just be a senior like everybody else.
I maybe do that. I don't know. You proposing? See, the nice thing is, the reality of it is the way that everything's been laid out to me, or at least the way that you've told me things. I feel like we're gonna be serendipity is gonna happen, and we're gonna be lining up, and you guys are gonna be making bags, and I'm gonna be getting out of school.
Realistically, yeah, we're year and a
Yeah.
half, 2 years out. From
Yeah,
I'm a-
that's a good point.
I'm
Yeah.
a year and a half, 2 years out. So
Mhm.
this conversation we're going to be having.
But
don't have to make me feel
again,
bad.
this thing could accelerate fast. It's a hockey stick model with us. It's up and to the right for a little bit, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, boop, exponential.
If this is me testing my loyalty thing, I'm booking off days in fucking November of 2020 for you boys.
Oh,
so
nice.
never question my loyalty.
You're right.
All right.
Spot on with that, man.
Yeah.
One other question I have for you with current events is this whole app, the Old Person app, that's
Face
been
app?
around for a long time,
It's
but
problematic.
it's just gotten hot this past week or two, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
With Russia, running the scene behind the scenes. Where's everyone's heads at with that?
Genius on Russia to get in our heads once more.
Get in literally in our heads.
In our heads.
Have our faces.
Yeah. Now Russia had our data already, but now Russia really has our data with our faces. Now they're just putting names to faces now.
Mhm.
That's pretty much what they did.
Yeah. Well, at first I thought it was just they're just gathering facial data or whatever. I'm like, I don't really know what Russia needs my face for. Me and my friends were joking. We're like, it's just a way that if you ever go to Russia and they're like, in 20 years, they're like, we know what this guy looks like.
Mhm.
But apparently,
You come in like you've grown up. Wow.
yeah, good for you. Apparently, though, they're their privacy policy is pretty lax, and they're just collecting browser and location data, and so that part is the problem.
And then selling it, and then telling you in the terms of service that, hey man, we're gonna sell your shit.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're selling it. They might just be using it for national security reasons.
Yeah, it says in the policy lines, this can be, we are not holding your information. We have the right to use your information, and if a government has a subpoena or some type of thing, we will accept. It literally says that in the terms and conditions.
Yeah, and it's Russia, so it's if Vladimir wants what Vladimir wants, he's gonna get it.
Exactly. So
I mean,
It's a little concerning.
my thoughts. There's a lot of negatives to it for sure. It's kind of bad that Russia's grabbing people's data from an app and selling it to other corporations. Yeah, that's bad. Sure, get that. But the same time, it's like, oh no, where was I going with this?
Well, I saw a tweet that basically said, and this might be where you're going with it. It was like complains about Face app, opens up Facebook, and like
Okay, yeah,
all
there
your-
we go.
yeah,
That
all
was
your
kind of
stuff's
where I was
getting
taking
stolen.
it. Is like we just willingly gave our convenience and started a trend across the entire United States, all because we wanted to see how old we like, how funny it would
It's the
look
most American
if
thing
we
ever.
looked old, and then we posted it on Instagram. Like, how funny is it that we gave away practically everything
Yeah,
to laugh at myself?
it was a pretty good app though. Like, it did a pretty good job.
No, it's a great
It's
app.
killer.
It's very
Yeah,
killer.
it was
like,
well done.
like that's like Photoshop instantly. Like how
That's why
well it
every
worked.
notable person used it. Every single notable person that you know posted that picture on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Oh yeah,
I did not. I'm not that notable.
I'm not that notable either. I mean, did it go through my head like, oh, would this be funny if like Andrew and I were old and we posted it? And like I was like, yeah. I was like, we'll get around to it. And I also, in the back of my head, not to brag, I was like, oh, this is probably, this is not good.
You thought that? I was just
I
like,
actually did.
I'm just
seriously.
like, I thought like, yeah, exactly. I was like, everyone's doing it. I don't think we're going to stand out that much. So I rather not use a post on it.
Right. I basically said like, I'll wait this one out. Like, it's not gonna hurt if I wait a week to post this.
Mhm.
So that was kind of where I was at.
Yeah.
But it is so funny how funny / like the reality of we're trading we're so excited about convenience in almost every facet of life that we're willing to trade anything for it.
Well, that's like an American thing, like as opposed to Europe. Apparently, that we like with our privacy, and this came up during the Facebook stuff.
Yeah.
But like the Europeans apparently have a view on privacy where it's like their privacy is something that they have to like give you. Like our privacy is something
Yes.
that we like let get taken from us. It's a different mindset
Mhm.
between Americans and Europeans.
I've read the same thing. I don't know the exact like process that the Europeans go about it, but I know that California was trying to pass a law that was similar to how the Europeans hold privacy laws.
Remember we had Keith Daniels on. He was talking all about this.
That's how I remember. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. We
Keith
had
Daniels.
a cyber security
Throwback.
guy. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Titled
Oh, he
Cyber
knows.
Insecurity.
That was right around the time we met you. Right?
Yeah, that was right when I was getting into Backpocket stuff.
There you
Ayo.
go.
It's killer.
Killer. But yeah, it is kind of, I mean,
It's wild.
it
It's
is
almost like
wild.
the free Kelpie model, like we're all put in this little aquarium just for everyone to see us do circles and wave, but we get thrown into the sharks and we're still dancing. We're gonna get eaten.
Exactly. And like the lady who's emceeing the whole thing, like, hey everybody, here's Kelpie, here he is. Like, that's social media.
Mm-hmm.
They're controlling us.
Yeah, free us, free Kelpie. Wow, that's a deep shirt, dude.
Frick.
When I look at that shirt, I think Russians are stealing my privacy.
That's what I think too.
Man, this
Look
got
how sad.
dark.
Look how sad we look.
Look how sad we look. And we're on this like nice soft shirt,
Yeah.
like can't miss it, I totally want it. And it just turns out you're trapped.
I'm trapped, dude.
You're trapped. You're trapped in your own little mind.
We're all gonna die. We all just live to die.
No,
You live as long as your name is remembered.
Oh shit, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
dude, that is really good. I gotta go here with this. So, the last line. So I just finished the last book of Yuval Noah Harari's
Had to go there.
21 lessons for the 21st century.
You
Kid
want
won't shut up. We get it. You read.
No, it's over. No, it's over.
Oh, thank God.
It's over.
Please
Like,
never
you guys
pick
will
up a
never
book
have to
again.
listen to it again.
I'm trying-
doubtful.
Yeah, you're gonna pick up another.
Not
book.
gonna hear. You're not gonna want to hear it from me again. But literally, the last line of that, like the whole book is, like, we have grown as a human species, as a human race. We originally bought into stories that united people together, like obviously like religion, and we fed people. We lived and died together, and it's gotten so much to the point where we've lost touch with like our reality. Like, there are so many other things out there nowadays with nuclear weapons and all these seriously just all these different things, TV that can delude just like entering alternate realities and basically giving your data out. Now there's algorithms that are starting to learn yourself better than you even know yourself. And he says we have like 5 to 10 years to basically experience our own thoughts, explore our own mind, and understand who we are as people. before the algorithms start to know us better. It's always like, what are you going to do with your time? What are you going to do with your thoughts? What are you going to do with your mind? You have to explore it, and that's it. And he just drops the mic, and I was like,
dude, that's so depressing. That's so sad.
I also think it's just powerful, like the fact that all we really have as humans are our thoughts. We perceived this whole universe.
Yeah.
We make up money. We make up politics. We make up left, right. We make up
language even.
Language.
Like, we're just speaking like gibberish to each other. We just agreed that this is
in the best way to talk, the best way to get me food, the best way to make me feel comfortable,
the best way to share experiences.
Yeah.
These are all things that we've thought up. That's who we like. That's what we've made ourselves into. This is why we're the most dominant species, is because we've been able to do this, and we've been able to do it together. We've been able to create religions that, like I said, bring people together and believe in this one thing, right? Like God, like an alternate thing that we, for the most part, we just made up. And that could be all these different religions that put people together. Democracy, capitalism, all these different things are all thought up. And it all brings us together. And when it boils down, thought is the only thing you have. And you got to explore your mind and figure out where it takes you.
That's a lot.
Hey, we're just going to continue to explore our small brains on this platform.
We literally just operate in what we're given and what we've worked for.
So, in 10 years, will I be able to say every day I have a chance to win, or will I have lost every day at that point?
No, you guys are all winning. We're winning
in
every day.
In 10 years,
winning.
When I can't think my own thoughts, I guess.
No. We're actively practicing it right now. We're asking we're getting to our average quality. We're asking average qualities. We're looking in. We're being self-aware. We're actively thinking about who is Ty Webb, who is Declan, who is Andrew, all the time. Every single week, we sit down on these couches, these floral chairs, and we ask those questions. We're actively engaging and exploring our own minds. And through that, we've been able to then project out cool podcasts, cool conversations, and things that have brought other people together and brought us closer together. That's all we got, man. That's all we got. So good work, boys. We're doing it the right way. Algorithms can tell us that we want certain shoes, that we want this, that we want that we think this podcast would be good for you, or that podcast, or you should buy this house or invest in that, or be this person or be that person. Sure. But at least I did some studying in my 20s to figure out whether or not I actually want to do that. I know what I love. I know what I don't like. And, I operate in those spaces and continue to try and figure it out.
That's crazy though, because that stuff changes every day.
Every day.
Like a pair of shoes I thought was cool 5 years ago, I don't think are cool anymore. So is the algorithm going to be able to predict when my change of preference happens? Because I don't even know when that's going to happen. So how is it? That's crazy. That's a crazy part to me.
And you think it probably will somehow.
It probably will somehow pick up based on trends and things I've liked. Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's all based on a feedback loop.
Right.
So you're constantly engaging with a platform like an Instagram or you're always surfing the web looking for new shoes at some point.
Can you stay ahead of that feedback loop though? Can you preempt it?
Yeah, because it's just in here.
It'll come with cycles as fashion cycles. For some reason, right now I think we're in the 80s or so. I don't know. There's some theory, the fashions that we have significant style as the previous ones. Influences. Yeah. So
for sure.
I bet somehow it'll have that longevity of a feedback loop to predict when we're all gonna start liking scarves again.
Damn.
Well, what's the crazy part is
I don't like scarves right now, but I could in 5 minutes, and maybe the algorithms got me.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it too is you can, we can only remember so much, and we can try and access back into old memories all the time to then use that as a different perspective or a lens to look at what you're doing now. But now that algorithms or different platforms are just gathering all this data and can access anything that you've done from the last 10 years in a heartbeat. Like that's kind of the scary reminder when you get the Snapchat notification of like, this is what you did 4 years ago, and you're like, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Snapchat didn't forget about that. Facebook didn't forget about that.
Yeah.
And not only that, they didn't forget that you liked this post from 2007 and you liked something very similar in 2017. And now in 2019, you're liking something totally different. That's what I'm saying. We only have so much time before they actually figure out. Well, or not before they actually figure out, but they just have so much data on us that it's not even close and tangible to like what we can remember, know ourselves.
Yeah, like it's just gonna be better at knowing us than
Yeah.
we know ourselves.
Which again is why, to spin it positively, be actively engaged in knowing and trying to explore your own mind and what you want to do and what makes you happy, sad, and what and just figure that out. Answer that question every single day.
Killer.
Proud of you, Dak. Good share. Good share.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. That was tough.
That was
You
good.
take us on the transition because I
Average
I
quality.
cannot.
Where do we go with
Andrew's
this?
more eloquent with the transitions, I
Yeah.
have to say.
You do really well with the transitions. It's always so funny listening to the podcast and someone like mentions like, oh yeah, that was very challenging. And Andrew goes, challenging. Absolutely very challenging. You know, one thing about challenging that we wanted you to challenge us is
It's so good.
who do you challenge us to get on the podcast?
Yeah.
That is hands down the easiest transition that we have, is that challenge question.
Yeah.
Because I can, if they don't even mention the word challenge, I can flow into it as saying, oh, you've said so many things today that show how you've challenged yourself to be a better person.
Yeah.
Or you've challenged yourself to follow it's easy.
That's your bread and butter.
Yeah, that's my bread and butter. The getting to the average quality is always tough. And then
The what did you learn you always throw it at the end, because I think that one's just kind of impossible.
It's kind of a one-off.
Yeah.
there's no transition needed for that.
Yeah.
Simple question. We'll finish on this note.
In the back pocket.
What's in your back pocket is hilarious. Playing the game of cutting Declan off and getting to that question is something that
Yeah.
I play every single podcast, because he will take that average quality and you could go 20 minutes with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, we got to get out of here. They got to get out of here. And so I'm like trying to figure out what I can say to trap Declan's brain and get on to the question for the next one. And that's fun.
I want to see an Andy like transition compilation. That would be so hilarious. Just like you. It's a super fan out there. Cut one up.
Do that for me.
Yeah.
That would be really funny.
Yeah,
There's so many of them.
There's so many.
If I was on salary, if I was full time here, that would be my tomorrow. My Friday would be an Andy compilation of.
Oh my gosh. I
transitions.
thought about this today. If we had minions working the content creation of how much we could be putting out.
Oh my God.
And there's so many things that we could just send people and work on. God, we have so much content that it's overwhelming what we can do with it.
We have an entire library of content of just like different stuff.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's pretty cool. Let's do the average quality.
I'll send you the show notes, and anytime you see the average quality tag, just know that there's a wicked transition about 15 seconds beforehand.
That actually would be helpful if I ever wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had a laundry list of show notes.
Yeah. He showed me that today. It's cool though. You can tab to it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Pretty freaking organized.
Yeah.
Yeah, decent.
Better than like I remember last season. You guys just had a super long Google Doc, which is still a super long Google Doc, but this one has.
It's specific to what it is versus the other one had everything in it. And it would take a good 30 seconds to 4 minutes to load before you could actually scroll on it.
We were so proud of that Google Doc too.
We talked about it all the time.
Yeah, we're like, oh, it's over 100 pages. It's like every idea we ever had. And it's like, cool, dude.
Made our efficiency decrease.
Yeah. It was like when you entered the page, you're like, oh no.
Where do I go? All right, let's get to the average quality. I can start.
Okay.
I already mentioned this already. I played softball this past Wednesday. And Patrick is the manager, my older brother, and he's stuck me at second base. And I'm a lefty. And lefties aren't made to play second base when you're trying to turn a double play.
What's the best infield position for a lefty though, other than first?
That's the only one you can play. Because everything else, you have to flip your hips every single time get into first.
I think I'd be buttery.
But it's easy. It's actually super simple. It's more efficient when the ball's hit up the middle for a second baseman, because I can cover more ground and so I had this thought. I was like, maybe I should pitch the MLB on when there's a lefty at bat to put a lefty at second base, because it's easier to cover ground when the ball is hit your way, and you can turn two pretty simple
Yeah.
because it's just a throw. You don't have to flip your hips that way. But when you're the person trying to get the ball to first on a double play, it's impossible. You cannot flip your hips in a way that's like athletic.
Yeah, you almost have to do the full like drop step and turn.
That's
like,
what I
you
would
have to-
do.
Yeah,
He was doing it in the kitchen last night. It was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
that's a killer move if you can pull it off.
I tried. I had 7 attempts.
Oh my god.
And 4 of them I didn't even throw because I was like, there's no way I can get it. And the other 3 I made the throw. All of them were on target, but just not quick enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a lot of fun, challenging myself that way to play second base. I love the game of baseball. I listen to the sports talk radio every now and then, like especially right now, and everyone is shitting on baseball and how they need to change rules to make it more fan friendly. And yeah, they probably could do a couple things, but the game is so statistical, like heavy that it's incredible how much thought goes into that game right now, and it's pretty cool.
It's very active in like playing chess, kind of.
It's a game of chess for sure, and it's not fan friendly at all.
No.
They want to see quick things happen. Like right now, all the sports analysts are talking about how home runs are bad for the game because it's just like short, quick bursts of fans.
Yeah.
And then like there's a lull for too long. Like there's not enough active anticipation. It's just like a knock it out of the park, and that's all you get because they like juice these baseballs to hit home runs all day long.
And another thing is like shifting has gotten so ridiculous. Like you're putting about analytics, like they'll toss shifts on almost everybody just because they know kind of their spray chart and they'll hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And that has created like line drives up the middle. Like when you have a shift on a left-handed batter and he line drives up the middle, too bad that the shortstop is standing literally on second base, and that's an out now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's become sort of a boomer bust league where, look, if you want to get a hit on a shift, the best way to beat a shift is to hit a home run.
Exactly.
And now everybody's focusing on that. So.
Yeah, and pitching changes happening left and right. It's
Yeah.
It's definitely slowing the game down. Like there was a game that was 5.5 hours the other day. It's like, dude, fans can't sit around for
It'd
that.
be cool if they just made the game like 7 innings. Like you don't have to change any of the like actual baseball rules, just like shorten it.
Mm-hmm. It's similar to golf in that way. Like 14 holes, 15 holes would be money because that's all I need. I don't need to play 18.
Right.
Who's stopping us from doing that? Just curious, like if someone created a league tomorrow that was 7 inning baseball and 14 hole golf, like who's actually stopping anyone from doing that?
No one. Money.
Yeah.
It's the same thing why that one football league tanked.
Sure.
Who's stopping people from showing football in the spring?
Nobody. But no one's like overly interested.
I
Sure.
think the
I get
XFL's
that.
going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I went sports there.
No, you know what's funny though? It's like they always call baseball America's game. Like baseball, like America must have just sucked back. Like they must have had all the time in the world back then. Like think about what baseball was competing with back then. Like the ABA, kind of the NFL with like no pads. It was pretty much rugby. And like World War II. Like, dude, of course it was America's
the
game.
ultimate competitor.
Of course,
World War II.
of course, it was America's game because otherwise it was you were listening to the radio on like the sparse updates you got from the beaches in Normandy. Like, of course it was America's game. They haven't changed it. Of course, like, there you go.
That's a bit.
That's a bit actually. Holy cow!
The beaches of Normandy, the ultimate shift.
The ultimate. All right, Ty, that was good. What's your average quality, dude?
My average quality is getting to bed at the time I want to get to bed at. So I'll always try to get to bed at like 11 o'clock or, recently it's been a little earlier because I've been getting up to go work out before working out. But, I'll get in bed and I really cherish the time before I go to sleep. Like I'll try to block out like, if I can, like up to an hour just to like watch YouTube and like, kind of decompress. I know that's not great for you, to have
Do you have
all
blue
that.
light lenses on?
No.
All right, so we'll get.
I have the night shift mode on my laptop, which I think does a little bit, but probably not enough.
That probably helps.
Yeah, it probably helps a little bit. At this point, I feel like I'm just by screens all the time, where it's just like I'm never not stimulated with blue light, so it probably doesn't matter that much. And I don't have problems going to sleep. Like, I make it work. So I try to block out like that much time to, kind of decompress, and it's kind of like the only free time I get in the sense of like just chilling out and like
It's Ty's
watching
time.
TV is my time. And I'm really bad at like, I'll be like, oh, one more video, or like I'll open my phone and be like, oh, one more, scroll on whatever. And it's really bad because then all of a sudden I'll be like, I want to go to bed at 11, but then I'll be like 11 07, I'll be like, oh, I'll go to bed at 11:10, and it'll be like 11:10. I'm like 11:15. That's it. And then it'll be 11:15. And like, oh, I'll convince my way up until like 11:30. I'm like, I've messed up, and then I'll feel bad, and I'll be like, not tomorrow night, and it'll all start over again.
It'll all start over, yeah. And you're feeling guilty about it, and you know those are negative feelings that create, you know, a lot of side effects that you don't think of, and then a year later, dies in a tough place.
Yeah.
So we got to fix that problem. Dex, I know Dex got solutions. He loves this topic.
Yep. So I think we're just gonna let you. We're gonna let you tank. Actually,
I gotta hit rock bottom first.
so that we can bring you back up.
Okay.
And I'll turn that into content till the day I die. Here's how we helped a 20-year-old kid turn his life around.
But we need to all my average qualities have turned into giving me advice.
Yeah, getting you advice.
Every single one.
No, it's perfect. But I think like you're honest to God a good kid and are finding direction. So we need you to lose direction. I think this is a great time for you to lose it.
Gotta undo a screw.
Yeah. And I think if we threw you another curveball where, you know, you're going to bed late, let's make sure we're forcing you to wake up early. So I'll see you at 5:30 for the workout at Alter next week. And we're going to go every single day.
That'd be a killer
and
week.
Then we'll record on Sunday night when all is said and done. And you're probably running on 4 hours of sleep every single day, watching lots of screens. And then I'll like to help you. At that point, I will then help you. But let's run them into the ground a little bit more.
I gotta bottom out first. That's tough. That's tough.
No, yeah, we need to push you a little more.
That's good.
That's the worst advice I got. I've gotten advice every back end show.
Look, I had to
that was the worst one.
It's turned into our bit. I think when you were giving your average quality, I'm like, all right, it's my time to get advice.
like when we were talking weather last week, it was so funny. Like Andrew's like honestly like tried to like, hey, I was like, you drinking beers? Or I'm assuming you're not drinking beers with your relatives. Oh, I'm drinking beers with relatives. Like we're like, god damn it! Like, we were literally trying to find so many other things to help you last week that this week I was like, bag it, dude. Let this kid drown. Let this kid drown, dude.
Oh man! All right, Jack, what's your average quality?
My average quality is our average quality between me and you, Andrew, is the little things with audio and video. It bothers me to the most extent that Ty brings in a new camera and his camera's just way better than ours, just from an aesthetic standpoint. I don't know like physically how much better it is. And then this little pop thing that happens, like why are we so good at it, but like everybody that comes into the studio is just popping everywhere like that, you know?
Yeah.
I'm so bad at it.
Yeah. So
no, today's been great.
Good.
I don't know. I think like we've become accustomed to how you're supposed to talk in these mics.
Mm-hmm.
Like I actually have subconsciously have trained myself with the P's and stuff to back
suppress
up,
it, yeah.
to suppress it, to talk like in a way that is hilarious. I can actually like as I say something, I'm like, oh hell yeah, I just said that really nice for this mic.
Absolutely, yeah.
And our mics are not friendly to people that haven't spoken into a mic before.
Yeah, which is like kind of the majority of our guests have like, which is kind of cool that like the majority of people we have on this podcast have just never been on a podcast.
Yeah,
pretty awesome, right?
That's cool. You guys are great guys to break them into.
Yeah.
So the P's, and then the mics or the camera not being
right.
I love the flip right there. I think that
that was
a deal breaker. I could have spent $200 less and gotten basically the same camera. So like the way the Canon Rebel series works is this is a T6i. I could have gotten a T6.
Yeah. And
basically the only difference is it didn't have the flip out screen, but that was like a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want that.
Right.
And I got it.
Well, and it's great that like these are the conversations we're having. Like we're complaining about like the quality of our 1080p H camera, and that we have two 1080p cameras running now.
Right.
And that we're complaining that the really expensive equipment that we bought is like messing up a little bit. It's like basically it's just I'm now identifying it. I'm now gonna watch some YouTube videos on how to eliminate the pop filter or how to eliminate the pops, how to refine and try and get this audio really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe dig into our freaking settings here for Sony A7.
You could get like
a foam thing that sits over top.
Again, I don't want to be doing nothing with that. I just want this to all look the same way. I want to be able to control on the back end. I want to learn this thing.
Yeah, you asked me about that.
I want to learn this.
I don't know if that helps with plosives is the thing.
There's no way.
Yeah, that's just a thing.
It's the gain. Like the gain, if you decrease the gain, then there will be less pop, but then it's going to be quieter audio, which is never good.
You guys are probably right, Yeah.
It's funny because those are like the little things that I was listening just today, actually. I was listening to Tim Ferriss and Casey Neistat. It's like an older one, and I've been on a Casey Neistat kick lately, and I was listening to the episode, and Casey had clearly called in, and the audio quality was like horrible. It was really bad. And it was just funny that like I sat through and listened to the whole thing. The audio quality was far worse than this audio quality is, even with all of our plosives and everything. And it's like, if the content's good enough, and if you like the subject matter enough, you can look past a lot of those things.
Yeah.
So
Agreed. And that's another thing. I listened to the Gary Vee Experience, and he does like live. He just takes live keynotes and just throws them up there,
Yeah,
and they're horrible.
yeah, so bad.
So bad. He does them in the car all the time, and like horrible. And he's probably getting millions of downloads on that stuff. So yeah, you're spot on with, if the content's there, for the most part, everyone will buy in. And that's I love that it's so kind of raw, in the sense of like when I listen to the overly produced podcasts, and I'm like, I lose interest so fast from these ones, because it's pulled in the direction that they wanted, and it's just like, oh, I see where you're going, I got it, next podcast.
I totally agree.
Outside of like Malcolm Gladwell's wild, like over the top, accelerated produced podcast, like his crush, but because I don't know how it's gonna end. I literally don't know how those are gonna end. Those are amazing.
Right.
But then like if it's a conversational podcast, when they're telling like stories, I'm like, oh, they're pointing in this direction. Thanks, I got what you got. I know for the most part what the meat and bones are.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
No, I totally agree. I think it's great that we're just throwing this together and having a blast.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Well, I mean-
I just listen to us so much that I'm just like, oh, we can be just a little better. You
Sure.
know?
When we get OBS in here, this shit's gonna hit the fan.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be
like, what the
lit.
fuck's happening? But I will say, listeners can watch us on YouTube Live, because we'll be streaming, most likely, to YouTube, which will be really cool. And then
so
it'll be
sick.
Up, and when we're done, that might be a problem actually. We'll have to figure that out, because it would be like uploaded directly to YouTube, and the way you guys record episodes, we wouldn't want it uploaded directly.
You can unlist it.
Yeah, we can make it like private, and then you can publicize it when you want to.
Yeah. So like we can go live for the time being.
Yep.
Unlist it after we're done.
That's probably
and
a setting.
Then
Yeah.
post it.
Oh, it's gonna be so cool.
We'll figure it out. That's the trial and error that I'll have a
dude.
lot
I'm
of
so
fun.
pumped for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Early stages.
Yeah.
It's in its nascency.
The nascency, dude. I use nascency in my.
I know. Ty
Oh
did.
my God.
Dude.
Yeah.
This is too much.
You use nascency and I use repertoire. I love saying
I
repertoire.
like repertoire.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I'll probably get sick of it, but
Yeah, eventually.
I'm already sick of nascency.
You said docile the other day, and I thought that was awesome.
That's a good word.
Good word. Very good
You
word.
gotta, you gotta sprinkle it in. You can't lean too heavily on it.
Amen. I'd
Well-
never thought of that word when you said docile, that I had a word that you said it also. Remember? On that part?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Either
Fuck
way, fuck it. But let's also like identify and congratulate Ty for having a better knowledge and use of the English language than you and I.
Amen to that. And that's perfect for my what did you learn?
Oh,
Hey,
I have a what did
let's
you learn that I
go.
kind of know, but I know I'm going to explain it, and Ty's going to know more about it.
That's
And I'm anticipating it already. I didn't share it last week because of that, and I tried to figure it out. I still can't fucking
that's
figure
my
it out.
job as a producer, though.
Yeah, you'll correct me, so please do. That I believe I have it written down, but I'm trying to go off the top of my head. ASM, the YouTube videos where it's a.
what does ASM stand?
I have it written down. I have no idea.
ASMR.
Yes. Is that what? Is that the when you watch a YouTube video and you get like those sensations from it?
Because they're whispering into the microphone.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So there's a YouTube channel right now. I think it's probably been out for a little bit longer, but I just noticed it that you listen to these videos and it gives people like that sensation of like the rainforest or whatever, or like the rubbing of like carpet, so like weird things.
Like
And
certain arousals that are tied to the things you're hearing.
yes. And,
Whoa.
and like there's a full YouTube channel on it, like with all the different variations,
Oh yeah,
and it's a big thing.
it's killer. I think basically you just pump up the gain, or you can get like, if we were to get like really like, and just kind of whisper into like that,
Nice and soft.
and it's a little ASMR. But you'd pump the gain on it, and so it'd be like really just like an intense whispering. And then there are great ones where like the microphone, so you have like a left microphone and a right microphone, and like it'll pump into the left ear and pump into the right ear, and you can get crazy with it.
Wow.
Yeah, we should do an ASMR segment here
Right now.
right now.
Wait, so you'd have to turn the gain up really loud.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, let's try the gains.
You can pump it up a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh, there it is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is so good.
All right, let's not get too sexual with that. All right, guys, let's just talk normal.
Oh yeah.
I can't laugh into the microphone, or else
You will destroy the pop filter. Will be
I'll
out of control.
There is no pop filters.
Oh yeah. If we do a pop, it'll destroy you.
I can hear your lips
I'm turning myself down because that was gross.
Whoa, dude. Yeah, what if we're just eating food, dude?
Oh, that is like a channel. Is like
Yeah, that's
people eating
eating
food.
Oh,
ASMR
really?
style.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I just remember when I heard Gabby Thomas, I remember her saying, like, when she was getting people DM her for foot fetishes, and she says, like, they asked for ASMR videos, too, of her, like, crunching a water bottle with her feet.
That's the weirdest type of person.
Now it makes sense.
Now it makes even more. Now it's, like, even grosser that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yikes, dude.
Shout out Gabby Thomas and Soda Boy. Cool vlog dropped today on Soda Boy's Instagram.
Nice.
Was it good? I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I mean they're always good.
Yeah.
Soda boy with an H.
Soda Boy with an H.
Sota.
I miss that guy. He's so cute.
Is he short?
Yeah.
Like how short?
5'2", 5'3".
Really?
He's not that short.
Yeah, he is.
No way.
He's 5'4".
5'4"?
Lorch is 5'9", and
Lord's just 5'6", and
Oh
so
my
is Soda
God.
Boy.
He's that.
Soda Boy's 5'6".
That's really short too.
Yeah.
He's 5'6".
he's not that tall.
I'm gonna make a mean joke, but I'm not gonna make the mean joke.
No,
He's the nicest guy.
he's a nicest
Yeah.
dude.
He doesn't have small man complex either.
Yeah.
At least from what I've seen.
I mean, I picked up on that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, Ty, what did you learn?
I learned how to change a tail light. So
Nice,
in
dude.
the long series of our automobile woes, which I feel like every time we come on here, someone's not insured. Who's ever editing cut to Andrew hitting the
Hitting the wall. I'm not going to do that again. I already did it.
damn it.
I missed it, dude. Dang it.
You'll see it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like,
and subscribe. Some of us are not insured, some of us are not licensed drivers, some of us don't have license plates. We've all had our fair share of woes.
we've all been there.
I was riding without a left tail light or a left like brake light for like the last week, and I finally got around to fixing it. Like I'm a busy guy, so I had them shipped to my apartment, and I never got they were there for like 5 days before I even knew about them. They never sent me an email where your package was delivered, so I had to go down and be like, hey, do I have a package? And like, yeah, you do. So I got the tail light, and I was like, shoot, I have really no idea what I'm doing. So I quick YouTubed a couple things, and it seemed pretty intuitive, and I got under the trunk, and it was pretty simple. It was like I felt like I was breaking things, so you have to pull out a panel, then I had to undo like 3 bolts, and then I had to pull out the taillight, which was like a weird thing because that's like shit, like will this ever go back in? You know?
There's
And
a lot
that-
of doubt.
Yeah, and then I had to like unscrew the light bulb, pull it out, like unplug it, and it was like I must have messed something up. And the first try I didn't get it because I don't think I tightened it hard enough, and then second try was a winner. So that was big. I probably looked like an idiot though because I didn't have anybody out there with me, so I couldn't tell if it was like on. So I set my phone up and like did like a camera thing, and I went in my car and like pressed the brake, and then came back and looked at my phone, and I'm like, shit, and I went in and did it again. And so yeah, that's what I learned how to do that. So if anybody has a 2011 Kia Optima and their taillight is out,
Ty's your man.
I got you.
Attaboy, Ty.
Nice. I'm gonna put that as a tag on this episode. Kia Optima 2011 taillight.
Yeah.
Maybe this video comes up.
How to
How
to change Kia Optima.
Yep.
I mean, I walked him through it.
Make it to minute 55 and you'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's cool is like when you Google like how to do something, it'll bring you to a YouTube video and then take you to the exact spot where they're talking about what you want to do.
Google's sweet like that.
Oh my gosh.
It's so dope.
That's been like a recent feature too. Good
Yeah.
for them. I mean,
I didn't know that.
bravo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to do it in Google. Like if you Google
Right.
how to, like it'll pull up a recommended thing, and it'll be like, this video would be helpful, and then like Dex said, it'll pull up to a specific timestamp.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's sick. All right. Is it my turn?
Sure.
All right. I learned that the universe is always trying to tell you something. So this morning, I woke up at 5 to go to altar. Super stoked. I hit stop on my alarm right away, and then I fell back asleep. I don't know what I was doing, but I fell back asleep and woke up at like 5:25. Class starts in 5 minutes. I'm still in my bed. I'm like, damn it. Like I missed my class, you know? So I was kind of pissed, and I was like, what should I do? I have some time. Might as well go on a run. So I was like, all right, go on a run. So I go around the lake. It's a sunrise lake dive, which is just sick, right? It's so nice. And I run by a guy. Like my plan was just to run around the lake, come back, take a shower, and go home. Well, I run around the lake, and as I'm running around, I run past this guy who's meditating on one of the benches. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to definitely run around and then meditate right on lakeside. Like, it's going to be dope. So I did that, and it was scary as hell, by the way, because when you're sitting, eyes closed, right up against the water. There were like fish jumping out, and I'm like, oh my God, the fish are coming for me. Or like the birds would fly by. I'm like, oh no, here they come. But 15 minutes straight meditation. I was like, that's dope. Never done that before. I remember Io had told me like, yeah, he loves meditating when he runs or whatever. I was like, cool, I did that. So I went home, got in the shower, put my clothes on, get in the car, turn on my my audiobook with the book I'm not going to name, 21 Lessons. The last chapter of that book is titled Meditation. And I'm like, whoa, exploring my mind again. Totally different like situation, everything. Like, that's pretty awesome. I show up to work. The first thing my boss tells me, he goes, Declan, you know, like, I was thinking about this the other day for some reason, but like, you're one of the more like self-aware guys. Do you meditate a lot? And I was like, what is going on? Like, this is so weird. I've never meditated, rarely ever meditate. I wake up, and only because of a random situation of sleeping in, I go and on a run, go and meditate. I go and listen to the last chapter of the books I've been loving. It's about meditation. I get into work and someone asks me about meditation. What's the point of that? I was like, the universe is trying to tell me something. I don't know what that is. But I was just like, the weird string of events that happened today blew my mind.
That's sick.
Tell me that's not cool.
I love when that happens. How do you meditate when you, like this morning?
You close your eyes and you just let your mind go. So, well, that's a bad way to explain it. But
I'm asking how you specifically meditate.
I focus on my breath.
This 15 minutes that you did on the lake, what was it?
What did I do?
You set a timer for 15.
I set a timer for 15. I just put my phone down. I sat on a bench that was right around like an opening in the lake, and I just sat there like just as straight up as I possibly could, hands on my knees, and just close my eyes. And then my thoughts would wander, and I would identify that they would wander, and I just kind of focus on my breath again, and did that for 15 minutes and ran home.
It was like a good experience.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
I need to do meditation more often. I think it's really what the universe is telling me.
Yeah.
But the fact that happened in like the first span of 2 hours, like the first 2 hours of my day, was so cool. I don't know. So.
You got deep today.
I got deep.
Yeah, we got in it.
Me and Kelpie, dude.
Yeah.
It's all about the Kelpie boy.
That make you feel good?
Yeah, I got a good feel-good story for you guys. Do you guys have feel-good stories?
I have one, but go ahead.
Our good buddy, marketing intern spotlight something in the 30s, Josiah Bardwell, is leaving for med school out in Creighton University in Omaha, Nebraska, taking on the med school life. He's one of our few friends that's becoming a doctor, which is sick. So good for him. He's going to be in school for a long time.
Yeah.
But, hey, he's chasing his dream. He's going to do it, man. I'm stoked for him.
That's killer.
So if you haven't listened to that podcast yet, I highly suggest it. I can't remember it off the top of my head, though.
I can't either.
It's like 32, maybe.
Yeah, early 30s.
Early 30s. Josiah Bardwell. Hell of a kid.
Very smart.
Yeah, very smart. Gonna be a doctor. I was
hope
just like,
so.
that's cool that someone is actually committing to do that. I don't know a lot of people.
Yeah, I feel like in high school at least, everybody was gonna go be a doctor.
Everybody I wanted to be a surgeon. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a
I'm
surgeon.
gonna be a doctor. The thing you soon realize though is that it sucks like that. That's like the hardest schooling ever. You know, high school's easy.
Start to finish. The second you show up at freshman year
It's
and you're like,
tough.
I want to be a doctor, they're like, oh,
First semester chemistry is like hard. It's not easy at all, and you just have to want to do it. You can't just want to do it because you want to be a doctor. You have to want it for the right reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. What was your?
That's perfect.
Okay.
That's a perfect way to finish it off.
Yeah. So good for Josiah, man. I'm stoked for that. This was a wild episode.
Phenomenal.
This was
episode.
crazy. It was fun.
We were all over.
Had a blast, dude.
Could have started without Andy.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's
But
see.
we'll finish with a preview for next week.
Yeah, what is next week?
Well,
Let's think this through.
we don't know who the guest is going to be because we're worried on Tuesday that the Zucker family
Mystery
is
guest.
if they're going to confirm or not.
Yeah.
Haven't confirmed?
No.
Shoot.
Well, they threw out the time of like,
Have we
hey,
sent them a follow-up email?
I've sent 2 follow-up emails.
Yeah, exactly. So we're waiting on it.
Yeah.
Could be Jason and Carly Zucker on Monday.
Yep.
On Tuesday will be
Cavi Brennan, right? Yeah, Cavi Brennan. So that's gonna be a freaking awesome one. He's very similar, and Josiah's gonna be
he corrects Josiah on how to
on CRISPRs.
on CRISPRs
Yeah.
because Josiah described it wrong and Cavi
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Cavy's becoming
Sorry,
a
Josiah.
PhD in biology. He
Wow.
just finished his first full year of teaching high school students, and now he's going back to school to get his PhD in studying your microbiome, which is your gut.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy.
phenomenal podcast.
And then the Michael Jordan of the Back End Show.
The Michael Jordan of the Back End Show. That is gonna be wild.
LeBron's my goat.
Yep, it's gonna be freaking sick. But anyways, thank you for hanging out. If you've been with us this long, thank you so much. Hour 2, phenomenal podcast. But as always, we love you guys. Take care.
Take care.